Here we are, dynamic duo. Welcome. Happy Wednesday, everyone. So, welcome to the Savvy Social Collab. I'm Olivia with Talia Dashow. And together we are presenting Creativity is dun, 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 WD-40 for your soul. Feeling stuck? Let me squirt you. Awesome. And, this is awesome because we want to know where you're coming from. So, please chat with us. What are your burning questions around creativity and procrastination? Share with us in the comments. Let us know. We'd be happy to discuss them with you on the air. And so, Talia, I was feeling a burst of creative confidence this morning before we got on today, and that's how I made that little intro video.
The video is awesome.
Did you have you heard of Gapping Void before?
No, I was not familiar with them. I'm going to go check them out.
Yeah, I've heard of them because they write these creative blog posts and they have just beautiful images. I love the color in like their images, and it just
Yeah.
made me think about you. And I've come to learn of them again through Robert Bostick. So Rob is one of our colleagues on LinkedIn, and he has a website called The Humor Point. So he curates all these like wonderful cartoons, animation, gifs, memes, you name it, from the website. And so I was looking up creativity today, and so many images came forward, and I really like the ones from Gapping Voids. I'm like, you know what? Let me just pick the ones that were really like pertinent to our conversation today, and I put them together, did a little animation, and then I was like, well, let me add some music. And did you know you can download like royalty-free music
Oh, that's awesome.
from amazing creators, and we can play them, and it won't get flagged by YouTube or Facebook. There's no copyright because the creator have done their end on their end. They've done like the tagging, the appropriate tagging, etc., to make sure it's copyrighted and whatnot. But I'm just so thankful that it's available. And
Yeah.
so I'm here working and just putting it all together, and I was so impressed with myself. I was like, wow.
It looks really great. Really
Thank
smooth.
you.
Yeah. I really liked the slide that said creativity is freedom. And that people are more scared of being wrong than they are of not creating anything. And that rang so true for me. And I have encountered that so often in so many of the people I work with. This fear of getting it wrong and doing something badly, as though the only point of doing a thing was for the end result and not to have the process of doing it. And this is why I feel so strongly about having Creativity Club as a place where people can try things safely, where you can't do it wrong, because it's so important to have a chance to try, to have a chance to feel that freedom of being able to create a thing and have it be well received and have it be, have it be more important to be in the process than to have a particular product. So yeah, that one just really, really hit home for me.
Excellent. And you see the link here. Creativity Club is tomorrow, Thursday. So join us. You can drop in at any time. And I think also just embracing that feeling, right? That uncomfortableness
Yes,
and being okay with it.
absolutely. One of the first things I work with in all of my clients is how to cope with uncomfortable feelings and how to realize that the we fear a catastrophe. And so we start to associate that horrible twisting feeling in our stomach with a horrible catastrophe happening, but actually the catastrophe doesn't happen. It doesn't. We don't die. We don't get fired. We don't get kicked out of our friend group. It doesn't happen. We just are afraid that it will. And so the more we can notice that the catastrophe that we feared didn't actually happen, the easier it is to cope with that uncomfortable feeling when it comes up.
Excellent. I think one of my favorite ones that called to me this morning was personal transformation is a creative act.
Yeah.
So that one really spoke strongly to me. And in your line of coaching, I mean, you help people through not just the professional development, but also personal development, right?
Yeah. I work with a lot of people around procrastination because that is a big thing that comes up for people, but also around just like sort of more general, I'm feeling stuck and I don't know why. I don't know what's missing. And often it's creativity that's missing or is a piece of what's missing. but it's hard to be confident about being creative if you don't have that experience. I really believe that we all start out creative. I actually wrote a post about this week that a lot of people think of creativity with a capital C, like the people who create the uh, great works of art or great musicians or actors or painters, like really epic works. And that's like the only definition of creativity. And that's creativity with a capital C. But creativity with a small c encompasses so, so much. You can be creative in your cooking. You can be creative in how you drive home from work and find a new route. You can be creative in how you help get your kid to brush their teeth. You can, I mean, you can be creative in so many ways that has nothing to do with making epic works of art. So that's where I try to help people become more creatively confident. And because the more you can be creative, the more possibility you have. And the more possibility, the more freedom, the more choices, the more you don't have to feel stuck with only one or two options. That you could go anywhere, anywhere.
That is amazing. And so refreshing to hear, right? So refreshing to hear this point of view too. And so, for those of you who have been following us for a while, right, this is a May live stream series that we are promoting creativity as WD40 for the soul, and helping all of you to get to learn a little bit more about who Talia is and her coaching style. And so, Talia, talk about your favorite clients. Who are the most like excellent clients for you to work with? And also, how can they work with you? What are some things that you offer?
So I really like working with people who are willing to try something new, but they don't necessarily know what or how to do it. Like people who are like, no, 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 you can't make me do anything, probably aren't going to get a lot out of coaching, just in general. And so people kind of need to be coachable, be willing to say, okay, maybe this person has a perspective I don't have yet, and I'm willing to give it a try. But they don't have to see themselves as being creative already. Like I actually love helping people see the creativity that they have, even if they think they're not creative at all. I had one
Mm.
person who's an entrepreneur, so she created an entire business. Who said she didn't have a creative bone in her body? I'm like, you just created a business. What do you mean you're not creative? But she was again mixing up the big C and little C creative. And you don't have to have big C creative to be able to have the little C creative. But I love people like that who are already out there doing stuff, but it's not feeling like creativity to them. And how can they're feeling stuck in some place, and helping people open that up and expand possibilities. And I'm always happy to talk about procrastination as part of it. I mean, procrastination shows up in creative work, in professional work, in your own personal life. It shows up everywhere. So I'm always happy to talk about the emotional underpinnings around procrastination and how to work with them so that it becomes less of an issue. As a lifelong procrastinator myself, I have developed the tools and I can help you with it too.
And entrepreneurship is all about creativity,
Yes.
right? The fact that you're creating solutions for issues or problems that you see out there.
Yes.
So excellent, awesome. And as a lifelong procrastinator, can you share with us the first time you procrastinated? I think I was reading your LinkedIn profile and you're telling some different stories.
I couldn't even tell you the first time I procrastinated, but I do remember that when I was in college, I would put off cleaning my apartment until something worse came along. So when it was time to study for finals, I would finally scrub the tub. Studying for finals was worse than having to clean. Yeah. But that's not sustainable. Like I knew that this was not going to be the way I wanted to live my life. I actually like living in a clean place. So I needed to figure out what to do about all of this procrastination that I had. And so I did a lot of reading, and I read things like um, break down big projects into smaller steps. So I did that, and then I had a list of smaller steps that I was not doing. I have a nice long list of things I'm supposed to be doing, not starting any of them. Or things like, well, anybody can do it, just get started. And I'm like, how broken must I be if I can't get started? Right? Like, if anyone can do it that I can't, then what's wrong with me? So it took starting to explore some of the internal fears and the understanding that procrastination is, in a way, your own unconscious talking to you about something feels wrong. And then give you a chance to say, okay, what's feeling wrong in this situation? What, am I procrastinating because I'm afraid of something? What am I afraid of? Is that an actual rational fear, or is this unlikely to happen? So we can start picking it apart and see if it's worth challenging or not. But if we don't ever look at what we're afraid of, if we don't ever have that opportunity to figure out what is holding us back, then we kind of just stay stuck. So that's what I help people with a lot.
And if you had watched us last week, we had talked about gremlins.
Yeah. It's a great way to think about those voices in our heads that are telling us that we shouldn't be trying something, to think of them as gremlins and give them an extra a name, and understand that that's not necessarily the voice you need to be listening to.
Because I love what you said just now. Your unconscious is speaking to me. So this is a way for me to visualize, right? Like my unconscious speaking and blabbering to me. Awesome. And something else you just said now too. I've had the opportunity and privilege to work with you right throughout this collaboration, and it's amazing. Like I really, really value all that you do in your coaching because you helped me to explore different models, and that every model can be customized to me, right? So what works for for another person might not work for me, and that's okay. Like there's more than one way to do something. I don't have to follow this like rigid model. There's many models, and I'm amazed that you have access and that you know of so many models.
Well, I've tried a few, believe me.
You tried a few, okay. That's where it comes from. Okay.
There was a period of time that I believed that if I could just find the right planner, then that would solve everything. And so I went and tried every planner I could find, thinking that if only I could get the right system in place, I would be able to get things done. But it didn't address what was stopping me from getting started on a project. I mean, there's a place for having planners. I like knowing when I'm supposed to be doing a thing. This is useful, but it's also not the only thing that's necessary. For me, it works for some people. And that's what the wonderful thing about people is, that we are all so very, very, very different. And I've had I've gone through a whole lot of models trying to figure out what works for me. And then I also work with clients and find out what works for them. And some people really, really like having a fairly solid structure. I don't want to say rigid, but solid. Like they know exactly what's happening when. And other people really like to have it more fluid than that, and sort of just have a sense of, this is where I should go after I finish with this, but it doesn't have to be done at any particular time because I want to do it when it feels right and feels complete. And so it's just everyone's different and has different things that work for them.
So one thing that I took away from our coaching this week was that in addition to having your to-do list, have a to-do list.
I love that.
So excited for that.
It just makes it feel like magical and brilliant when I finish a thing. I can say, ta-da!
Ta-da! I just want to jump to the comments because we got Dinesh. Oh my gosh, Dinesh, hello. Thank you so much for tuning in and saying hello to us. So if you've got a procrastination or creativity question you'd like to ask Talia, ask away. Engage with us in the comments. And Deb, thank you, Deb. Oh my gosh, Deb is watching on Facebook. This is very interesting. It is, Deb. It is. And I want to give a shout out to Deb because she has this vision and I love it. It's to help women travel, right? And, planning these excursions and getting them to travel in groups and having an amazing experience, right? So I love that business, Deb. I think it's super creative. And, I'm very excited to see how that will evolve over time. I might sign up for your retreat.
Oh my God, that sounds great. I want to do
Right?
that. Hey,
I know.
creativity experts on your trips?
Yeah, Deb. Do you need some creative consultants? Call Talia. Which way do I go? Call. I never can figure out which way my fingers go.
Camera looks backwards.
So give Talia a call. So you may be interested too, Talia. I came across this in my archives because I have so much in my archives. And I found this. Do it now, clock.
Do it now.
So you can also beat procrastination when you learn to just seize the moment, right? Seize in the moment. So this is a book set. I got this like years ago, right? And I think I found this in like Barnes and Noble, and I loved it so much because it's compact and it's a clock, and then there's a little booklet that comes out too. So if you're this is inspiring quotes on how to seize the moment. So I'm just gonna go ahead and like flip because it's fun. Okay, let's see. The true felicity of life is to be free from anxieties and perturbations, to understand and to do our duties to God and man, and to enjoy the present without any serious dependence on the future.
Interesting.
That's an interesting one. And then let's see, what else is a good one? Learn to enjoy every minute of your life. Be happy now. Don't wait for something outside of yourself to make you happy in the future. Think how really precious is the time you have to spend, whether it's at work or with your family. Every minute should be enjoyed and savored. And that's from Earl Nightingale. So,
I
handy little book.
actually feel that it's, so many of us think, I'll be happy when I lose 20 pounds. I'll be happy when I get a promotion. I'll be happy when I get to go on vacation.
The external, yeah.
Right. But then we go on vacation or lose the weight or get the promotion and we're not any happier than we were before. And that in a way, we kind of have a choice of what we want to focus on in any given moment and whether we want to focus on what brings us joy or what is anxiety provoking. And I also want to say that even though that is true, I don't want that to make people feel bad about procrastination or their own anxieties, because there's plenty of us that can beat ourselves up for beating ourselves up for beating ourselves up. I mean, um, when I'm in one mood, I can look at a clock that says now, and think it's really funny. And then there's another part of me that thinks that if I were feeling anxious or inadequate or late or something like that, that I could use that to make myself feel worse. And I know that the more we make ourselves feel bad, the harder it is to do stuff.
Yes. Something that came to me this morning, it was just that, the better I feel, the more I can allow.
Yeah.
And I really love like listening and paying attention to that message and applying for myself.
Yeah.
Awesome. So Deb is on board. I think Deb, this is what I love about live streaming because you never know when connections are being made and instant collaborations happen. But she is saying, absolutely, Talia, let's have a creative consultant for these trips and excursions.
We'll talk.
We'll talk. My people call your people. And Figgy is joining us on Facebook. So Figgy is asking, are we late? Did we discuss the fear of failure keeping me from moving forward? We have not discussed that yet, Figgy, so you're just in time. Talia, what are your thoughts on that?
Fear of failure is huge. I'm actually writing an article right now for Medium about fear of failure and what gets in, why we're so afraid of failure. And the thing that I have discovered about the fear of failure, we are we are wired as human beings to care about what other people think about us, because we, at some point in our history, depended on our small tribe to keep us alive. And if for some reason people didn't want us around, they could kick us out of the tribe, and then we would die hungry and alone and mauled by bears. And that is a very visceral fear that is still present in all of us about, how am I going to be received? And so it's really kind of this very basic gut level fear. If I try something and I fail at it, then people will laugh at me and people will not like me and people will kick me out of the tribe and I'm going to die hungry and alone and mauled by bears. The thing is, one, there aren't a lot of bears around anymore to maul people. And two, that we have this really survival level fear around things that are not survival level issues. So actually, if we try a thing and we fail at it, it does not mean that everybody around us is going to despise us and want to kick us out and never see us again. Actually, it's just information. Doing this in this way didn't work. Okay, what can I learn from it to do it differently, to try to make it work the next time? And that's why I love bringing creativity in as part of the equation. Like, developing creative confidence, developing the willingness to try a thing just to see what happens. Really, even if it's just in a small setting, creativity club, can help us exercise that muscle of, okay, I'm doing the thing, I'm care about the process. I'm just going to explore it and see what happens. And then it doesn't feel so much like failure at the end. It feels more like information. Oh, this is what happens. Okay. And it's not, there's no catastrophe attached. So it makes it a little easier each time you have that worry that there's going to be a catastrophe and then no catastrophe happens. The more we notice that we're actually okay, the easier it is to cope with that fear the next time. And the easier it is to try a thing and see what happens. But yeah, it is. I never want people to feel bad about having that fear of failure that keeps them moving forward. It is basic to being human. So, I mean, I can definitely talk with people around about ways to loosen that grip, but never feel ashamed about that, because who we are as human beings. And feeling ashamed is just going to make it a lot harder.
So Figgy, the link is there. Call Talia. And I think you'll get a lot out of it, because Figgy has an awesome musical talent. And, I want to see you shine with that, Figgy.
Oh, yeah.
Call Talia.
We need the music.
So our topic was about creative confidence. And so you touched upon it just now a little bit. But where does that notion come from, and how can we better develop it, Talia, creative confidence?
I actually know the phrase from a book from the founders of IDEO, which is a design company in San Francisco, all about creative confidence. I have to say, I have been procrastinating on finishing the book, so I can't tell you everything in it. The very fact that they wrote it, I'm a little jealous that they wrote it first, because the idea of creative confidence feels so important to me. About, like, our world needs creative ideas to be able to solve the big problems that we have. And if people are afraid to speak up with their creative ideas, then the world never gets to know them. And then the world doesn't get the good solutions that it could get by having access to all of these great ideas. So it's really important to me, for the whole health of the world right now, that people develop their creative confidence and their confidence in their ideas, that their ideas can work, and that people will hear them with open ears and willing to give them a try, or at least put it into the pot and see what comes out of having that in the mix. It's having, I think our society is very focused on, let's repeat what worked in the past. But if situations have changed, they might not work the same way as they did in the past. So how can we imagine the future? But if we're not imagining, if we're not allowing that creativity to percolate through everything, how can we create a future that will work in this new world? We absolutely need to have this confidence in our own creativity to be able to bring out new ideas. Is that too long-winded?
No, I love it. And, I was, working on that little video intro, right? Just to have something different, just to have something that will grab attention. I think it worked because we got new viewers today. So I think it worked. And, it's the first time I'm doing it. I've made kind of the animated slideshows before, but I didn't add music last time. So I'm building it. So this is the first week I did it for another show where I had the slideshows and the slogans and whatnot, but I didn't add music. And today it's just like, it just came to me like, oh, what if I added music? And then, I used various applications. I went through Canva, I went through Microsoft Video Editor. And the first time around, I decided to export this video into a large format so I could stream it. And it took forever to load. I was like, okay, what's going on? Like, how can I work around it? And then I just did, let me just do the next size down, which is medium. And I didn't get into very technical and like the dimensions or sizes, but I'm like, okay, well, let me try medium. And it exported rather quickly and it played beautifully. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, that's information for future. Like, I don't have to be stuck or frustrated like it didn't work the first time. And I think that's what coaching with you has allowed me to do. It's like, okay,
Oh, wonderful.
either find another way around it. Let's
Yeah.
figure this out, make it work.
Yay.
Yay! Ta-da! So ta-da! My ta-da list today, I have learned how to add music to a video clip. So that would be something new I can add next time to other live stream shows. So super happy about that. I do want to bring attention next to our adult summer camp because we dropped the hint last time. We dropped the hint last week about this adult summer camp vision that Talia has, and so many people, even after the live stream, like respond and they're like, "Yes, sign me up! I'd love to be for that." And so one of the activities that we do in Creativity Club is just imagine exploring. Right? If we had a bucket load of money to put this plan into action, what would we do? So we'd love to hear from you. If you're still watching, Deb, Dinesh, Figgy, join us in the comments. So if you are now had been appointed to the Adult Summer Camp Committee, Planning Committee, what would you like to see happen?
I can tell you some of the things that I've been imagining for an adult summer camp. I want to do things like tie-dye, which is a traditional camp thing, but the last time I went to family camp, it was only for the kids. I'm like, I want to do it. That looks like fun. Why is only the kids getting to do it? So, just like crafts that people can try their hands at. You don't have to be good at it. Just have a chance to play around with it. All kinds of different ways to play. I would love to have maybe some time for improv, or maybe some time for journaling from different types of points of view. I have this idea of like having people sitting in a forest clearing and thinking of whatever problem they want to journal about, and thinking about what the trees would say about it and what the squirrels would say about it, because they've got totally different points of view, and maybe what the birds would have to say about it because they've got a different point of view also. But the thing I really, really, really most want to include is have like a table full of odds and ends of things where people can create little awards or medals for people to, so like if you see somebody taking a creative risk, or being willing to be vulnerable, or somehow trying something new that they've never done before, you can make a little award for them, and then we can have an award ceremony with things like made out of like beads and washers and like random parts, whatever we find, scraps of cloth, to then give out these awards to people for trying something new.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Deb is jumping in. She goes, yes, fun play adventures. So for me, like I would envision like an obstacle course. So like, like maybe like putting like tires on the ground, and then you have to like to jumping through them. Tug of war. Who doesn't love tug of war at summer camp? And maybe it's just like so fun obstacle courses that we have to work together as a team to figure out.
I kind of miss playgrounds. Like as an adult, you know, I can't really fit on the slides anymore, but having an adult playground would be really fun. And having like tunnels to climb through and slides you can go up and down, and it just, whether it's a group activity or an individual activity, just a chance to sort of play with my whole body, like that would be really fun.
Oh, you would love this. So there is I just discovered this amazing company, and they have the best bubbles. And oh, I need to show it to you. Oh my gosh. So that might be a next video clip for next week. But they have concentrated this like bubble solution, just add water, and then all it is like two wands with a piece of string and with a loop through it, and it makes the biggest bubble. And their premise is all about, using body and movement to create these like beautiful bubbles, like big bubbly blobs. And I did it this weekend. I did it this past weekend in Jacksonville at our park, and it was just so much fun. And like the kids were just so creative with it, because they're not just like little bubbles that you blow right out of the container. These are like big, gigantic bubbles that you do move with your whole body.
Excellent. That goes to summer camp too.
That goes into summer camp too. Yes. So big bubbles. And then I think about like, it's just having classes at summer camp where we can learn to make balloons, balloon animals, balloon art, and then juggling, right? Learning how to juggle.
I learned how to juggle in summer camp using oranges, and I got very, very sticky.
Oranges? Deb is giving you some inspiration and encouragement here. Yes, you can, Talia. We don't care what people think. We're just going to go for it. Yep. So adult gyms, adult playgrounds in this undisclosed location to be determined. To be determined. But yeah, if you love this idea of adult summer camp and you want in, jump in the comments, even after the live stream. Keep the conversation going. Jump in the comments and let us know what you'd like to see happen. What would make you release your inner child?
Yeah. It doesn't have to necessarily be something you think we could do, really. Like, this is a chance to play with your imagination, just to go as wild as you can. So whatever you come up with, give it a share with us, and we can play with it. Maybe we'll be able to turn it into reality. Maybe we won't, but at least we can play with the ideas in the meantime.
We can play with ideas in the meantime. Exactly. So we're encouraging to play. Do it. A pop-up adult summer camp. Yes, we can take it mobile. Hey, oh my God, Talia, we could do a cross-country mobile tour. RV, and then we'll just have our stuff and we'll just pop up.
That would be fun.
Anybody can join. That's a great idea, Deb. Awesome. A pop-up adult summer camp coming to a city near you. Excellent. And I think about having like a labyrinth, right? Like a complicated walkway labyrinth, because that's also really good for meditation, and like a huge sandbox where you can do like sand art.
Nice.
Let's get back into playing the sandbox. Awesome. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for watching. LaDonna just popped in, so thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Hello to you, LaDonna. Thank you, Deb, so much for your contributions. You are now officially part of the Adult Summer Camp Planning Committee. And Figgy, thank you for your questions. That was really good discussion. So thank you for prompting us to have that discussion. And Dinesh, if you're still on, thank you so much for watching. So we really appreciate it. If you're watching this again later on, #replay. Keep the conversation going. And of course, join us. Join us for Creativity Club, which starts tomorrow. So here's the link on the stream. You can't do it wrong. You can't do it wrong. All right. So we'll see you next week. Thank you in the meantime for watching this episode of Creativity is WD40 for the Soul. See you in the Creativity Club.
Awesome. Bye.
Sign up now. Like, go to this link. Sign up now.
Now.
That is something you can do now. Now. Take care, Talia. Bye. Oh, wait, we got one more comment. Sorry. You're welcome, Deb. You are so welcome. It is our pleasure. We know your time is valuable, so it means so much to us that you came on and took this time to listen and be part of the discussion. So thank
Absolutely.
you, Deb. Excellent. We'll see you next week.
All right.